Hello, I am Kristen, and welcome to my channel on healing my body and mind through nutrition and exercise. Welcome back, and welcome if you are new. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, like, follow along, and comment. I always love to hear where you are on your journey in your nutrition and your workout routine. So, for me, I have been on this journey for over 6 months now. Can you believe it? If you saw video day one, through almost 30, you know that I wanted to quit almost every single day. There was not a day that went by that my brain, my mental state was not telling me to quit because it was hard for me. So if it is not easy for you, like you will see people on social media say, 1 week in, 1 week of carnivore, and I feel amazing, so much energy, my anxiety is completely gone, and all these things, right? I hope that they are telling the truth. I hope that it is working for them that quickly. But it was not so simple for me. That was not the case for me. That was not my journey. And so I shared that with you raw, open. Here I am. Here's what's going on. This is what I'm eating. This is what's going on. And I had keto flu and I just felt like shit. And so I pushed through. I told myself that it took so many years of fueling my body with things that were not good for me since growing up, because it's what the FDA and the commercials and everybody was saying. This is what's healthy for you. This is what's quick meal when your parents are working. And yes, I had TV dinners and canned Chef Boyardee and cereal, lots of cereal, lots and lots of bad cereals that, yes, tasted absolutely delicious. I was talking to my sister-in-law the other day. I love cereal. It's freaking delicious. You cannot say that it's not. But is it good for you? No, it's not. And after I learned about ingredients and I started to learn about what these things can do to your body and how your body reacts, I started to cut back and I started to eat a little bit better. And I did a low carb diet. I did keto many years ago with my husband when he was trying to lose weight, and he lost a good amount of weight. And I was actually pretty okay with eating keto, but I still had a lot of gut issues. I have microscopic colitis, and that's actually when I discovered that I had microscopic colitis, funny enough. And it was probably because I was eating a lot more veggies than I probably should have been eating. So, kind of putting that together now as I'm talking to you out loud. So, carnivore has just been a journey of mine where I am just rediscovering myself. I'm rediscovering what is good for my body, what my body can handle, what I feel good on, and helping cure and take away a lot of the things that I had on the list of why I needed to do carnivore in the first place. So, one of the questions of today that I got asked is, can you share your experience with how the carnivore diet has affected your anxiety and or depression levels? And yes, if you've looked at my videos before, I talk to you about this all the time. So, let's start with my depression. My depression really kicked in after having my first baby, postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, postpartum um, rage. I just was irritable and it was really bad. And I mentioned it to my doctor. I mentioned how things were just triggering to me, and I would just get really mad at the things that somebody would do, the noises they would make. I was not myself, and I knew that I wasn't myself. I could feel it, but I couldn't control it. And the doctor said, that's normal. Your hormones, you just had a baby, and it should fix itself, is pretty much what they told me. It did not fix itself. I lived with this irritability, this anxiety, and low depression, I would say. It was more anxiety and irritability um, for 3 years until I had my second baby. And then I had my second baby, and the depression got worse and the anxiety got worse. And I mentioned it to the doctor. I said, yes, I'm feeling sad. I'm not feeling myself. I have a lot of anxiety all the time. It's normal. I was told again, it's normal. So I lived like that again for another 3 years. Now, before having my third baby, I was having losing hair, I was depressed. I had anxiety. I had sweats. I wasn't sleeping good. I'm probably missing things off that list. And that's when I found out, and I went to the thyroid specialist because I had the doctor run tests and they told me that my thyroid was fine. So I decided to go to a specialist. And that's when I found out that no, it was not fine. And I had what is called Graves' disease. And a lot of that was probably contributing to all of those things that I just said. So they put me on medication. And after I was on the medication for a while, a lot of the things started to get better, but I still had anxiety. So I told the doctor that I still had anxiety. And they said, well, your levels are normal on the medication. So the anxiety is probably not being caused by your thyroid. Okay. So what could be causing my anxiety? Why am I still feeling some depression? Why is it not going away? Well, I don't know. You have to, go talk to your doctor. Oh, my doctor, you told me I didn't even have thyroid issues in the first place. What the hell are they going to tell me about my freaking anxiety and depression? Right? So, had my third baby. I had gotten off my medication because my levels were normal and I don't like to be on any medication while pregnant. So he said, that's fine, get off the medication. Um, Make sure that your doctor, your gynecologist checks your thyroid levels while you're pregnant. So with all three babies, my thyroid levels have always been normal. It kind of just goes back into remission. And so I had my third baby. And my depression got worse. And my anxiety was still bad. And I was crying a lot. I just felt sad. Really, really sad. Like, picture, if you've never had depression, a day in your life where you maybe lost someone. That's the way I can think of it. And you just felt like your world was crumbling and you just felt sad, but feel like that all day long. That's how I felt. And I looked at groups online to try to see if I can get some help. And I was trying to find like a psychologist or somebody to talk to, but I just never kind of made an appointment. Um, and I told my husband finally, I said, I'm living with this depression. I can't do it anymore. I don't know what else to do. And he comforted me and he told me, to try to talk to someone. And that's when I started to look to see who I can talk to. And he had been telling me about going possibly keto or going carnivore for months and months. And actually, years before, he had told me about the carnivore diet when we saw it on the Joe Rogan podcast. But he decided that he wanted to do the carnivore diet mostly to lose weight and also to kind of get a little bit healthier. And he started in October. And I said, after watching a lot of videos with him and researching and looking into testimonials and seeing how people were saying how they were no longer depressed, they no longer had anxiety. And I had this long list of things, not just depression and anxiety, but that's what we're talking about today. And I said, what's the worst thing that can happen if I do the carnivore diet? The worst thing that can happen is that I'm still depressed and that I still have anxiety. So I said, come January 1st, I'm going on this carnivore diet. I'm going to do it for 30 days and I'm going to document it and I'm going to write everything down. I'm till this day, I still write down what I eat because I like to see what I'm feeling that day. If I do have a little bit of anxiety, which I do have on occasion, or if I have sometimes gut issues with my microscopic colitis. So I like to still write down what I eat in a day. And so I started this journey with you. Day one, go check it out. And here I am, 6.5 months in, and I will tell you that I have not had depression in at least 5 months, which is amazing. Which is amazing because I had depression for 9 years, right? Are we saying 9 years? No. Yeah, probably about 9 years. Dabbling in the beginning, I always had some depression. before pregnancy, but never as strong until after I had my babies. And my anxiety was every single day in the chest, taking over. I couldn't breathe. And it was frustrating because here I am with my kids and I'm getting a panic attack. I'm getting anxiety, but I have to keep it together and I have to breathe and I have to pretend that everything's okay when it's not, when it's far from okay. But this is how I was living my life. So after carnivore, I can proudly say that I no longer have that anxiety every single day. I did say there are some days that I have some anxiousness, and I'm learning my body, I'm learning my mind, and I'm learning that although nutrition and going carnivore, I definitely feel has healed my depression, it has definitely controlled my anxiety. It's not 100% on my anxiety. I think because sometimes we also have to realize that anxiety has to do with just daily life, traumas that you may have, and it's not always due to the nutrition that you're eating. And so for me, I have some traumas. I have um, where I stress out very easily over things. And so that gives me anxiety. And so I have to learn to control those things a little bit better and work on my anxiety. But I will say that I do not have anxiety every single day. Like I have not had anxiety in the last few days, which is absolutely amazing. I've been feeling great, lots of energy. And so, carnivore for me, those are the levels that I'm at. I am at an all time high of not having depression anymore. And I have lowered my anxiety by so much that I cannot explain to you how happy I am of where I am in my journey and what carnivore has done for me. And the only regret that I have about going carnivore is not going carnivore sooner, because I suffered through depression for so many years that I could have probably not had that depression for as long as I did. So if you are suffering from depression or anxiety, my advice is to please, please go talk to somebody. Let somebody know, whether it's your spouse or your parent or family member, best friend, whoever, and maybe even go talk to somebody who is a professional in the field, because depression and anxiety is not something to be played with. Um, and there are different levels of depression. And so it is very important to get the help that you need when you are feeling depressed. And I'm not saying that the carnivore diet will take your depression away 100%, because I don't know you and I don't know your body and I don't know what you've been through and why you are feeling depressed. And so my only advice that I can say is to take it a day at a time and use the carnivore diet as a tool, as an elimination diet, to see if it helps relieve that depression and that anxiety from your body, and see how you feel, because it has been such a blessing to feel the way I feel right now as I'm talking to you, where I normally would be super anxious talking to you. And so that's what the carnivore diet has done for me. And I hope that if you are on this journey, that it's helped you along the way. Leave it in the comments. What has it helped you with? Have you been through depression and anxiety? Was that a reason why you started carnivore? And has it helped you? I would love to have that conversation with you on another podcast, on maybe some of you commenting and letting me know exactly how you feel, because I think that although science is very important and the studies are very important on what the carnivore can do for somebody and their body, I think that we need to also listen to the testimonies, and we need to open our eyes and open our ears to what people are actually saying, because you will hear all the time how the carnivore diet is not good for you, yet there are all these testimonies on how people are healing things and feeling better and feeling amazing. And so we need to listen to people. We also need to listen. So I hope that you've listened to me today. I hope that you take it with as a grain of salt, however you want to take it. And I hope that you have a beautiful day, and I will see you again tomorrow.